The sky was silver above Neo Sydney. The city was full of tall glass towers, flying cars, and people rushing with glowing devices in their hands. But inside one of those towers, Neural Tech Corp, everything was quiet, polished, and serious. The front doors opened with a soft hiss. A black woman walked in, her steps slow and steady. Her name was Amara. She wore a plain, long gray coat and carried a slim file in one hand. Her black boots were old but clean. Her hair was tied back in a simple bun. She looked around the shiny lobby without saying a word. The walls were made of white marble. Holograms floated near the ceiling, showing the company's latest inventions. A robot receptionist waved at everyone who passed by. But behind the real front desk sat Tana, a young woman in her 20s with sharp nails and louder makeup. Tina looked up from her glowing screen and frowned. She leaned forward and said in a tired voice, "Yes, can I help you?" Amara smiled gently. "Good morning," she said in a calm voice. "I'm here to." Before she could finish, Tina cut her off with a sigh. "No walk-ins," she said firmly. "You need an appointment." Amara tilted her head slightly. "I understand. But—" Tina rolled her eyes. "Ma'am, I already told you. This is a private tech firm, not a public center." At that moment, two interns walked past the desk carrying boxes. One of them looked at Amara and whispered, "Lost grandma alert." The other laughed. Tina smirked. "This isn't a place for whatever you're selling," she said, waving her hand. More staff passed by, all dressed in suits and carrying digital tablets. A few of them gave Amara confused looks. One man muttered, "Is she in the right building?" Still, Amara stayed calm. She didn't argue. She didn't raise her voice. She just looked ahead, at the hallway that led deeper into the building. Her eyes scanned the elevator doors, the security cameras, and the nameplates beside the walls. She was watching everything. Kaina noticed her looking around and narrowed her eyes. "Look, you can't just stand here staring like that," she said louder. "If you don't leave, I'll call security." Amara gently nodded. "Of course," she said softly. "Do what you must." Then, slowly, she turned to leave. But as she turned, something caught the camera's attention. A badge slipped slightly from under her coat sleeve. It had the Neural Tech Corp logo in silver, and a gold seal beside her name. The camera zoomed in. The name on the badge said, "Amara Ven, Partner Access, Level 9 Clearance." The gold seal meant something few people in the company ever saw. It marked a major stakeholder or executive partner. But Tina didn't see the badge. She was too busy messaging someone on her tablet, proudly bragging about how she dealt with a random walk-in. Meanwhile, Amara stepped back from the desk and moved to the side. She sat quietly on one of the lobby chairs. She opened her file and began reading. From a distance, she looked like just another unimportant visitor. But her eyes were sharp, focused. She watched everything: the way Tina handled guests, the way other staff treated lower employees, the security code on the main elevator, even the way people ignored the cleaning bots that rolled by. Tina, now bored, turned back to her screen and began scrolling through social feeds. She posted something with the words, "Another Wanib investor walked in wearing a coat from 2020. Lol." She had no idea that the woman sitting just 20 feet away was about to change her entire future. And the company's too. "Hey, okay, ending." A soft beep came from under Amara's sleeve. She touched her wrist gently, and for a second, we see it. A high-tech wrist implant blinking green with a quiet hum. She covered it again and looked up. The camera holes on her calm face, and the hidden storm behind her eyes. Amara sat in the lobby chair like she had all the time in the world. Tina, the receptionist, didn't pay her any more attention. She was now chatting on her earpiece, laughing softly, and scrolling on her tablet. The two interns from earlier had returned, still chuckling and throwing glances at Amara. But Amara, she was silent. She waited exactly 7 minutes. Then, without a word, she stood up and walked slowly toward the main elevator, the one with AEL9. XECTIVS only printed in glowing blue letters. Tina looked up too late. "Excuse me," she called out, standing halfway from her chair. "That elevator is for employees only. You can't." But before she could say more, the elevator doors opened with a soft ding. The security system scanned Amara as she stepped inside. There was a brief pause. Then, the screen above the door flashed green. "Access G-T-D, EVL 9, key cleared." Tina froze. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. The intern stared, blinking fast. The elevator doors closed quietly. Inside, Amara stood alone. The soft hum of the lift surrounded her, mirrors lined the walls, and bright lights shined above. She pulled back her sleeve just slightly. Her wrist implant glowed again, blinking with soft codes. The elevator screen showed each floor she passed. Level 4, security. Level 6, research. Level 8, boardroom. Then, level 9, executive or. As she rose higher, the camera focused on her face, still calm, but focused, like a storm hiding behind still water. She took out a small card from her file. It had one name written on it in bold letters. Derek Hollins, CEO, Neuraltech Corp. She looked at it for a second, then tucked it away. Upstairs, level 9. Level 9 was different. It didn't look like the rest of the building. The lights were softer. The floor was covered in dark red carpet. The hallway was silent except for the soft humming of floating drones carrying paperwork. The walls were decorated with awards, old photos of tech milestones, and a giant hologram of the company's future mission. At the far end of the hallway was a large frosted glass door with CEO D. Hold Alliance glowing faintly on the front. 2 assistants sat outside. One of them, a sharp-looking man in a suit, stood up as soon as Amara stepped out of the elevator. "I'm sorry," he said, rushing toward her. "You must be lost. This floor is strictly for." Then he stopped. His eyes caught the badge on Amara's coat. His face changed completely. He stepped back quickly, eyes wide. "Ma'am, I didn't realize." Amara gave him a polite nod. "I'd like to speak to Mr. Hollins," she said softly. The assistant stammered. "Yes, right away. I'll tell him now. Please, right this way." The second assistant rushed to open the door. Inside, the CEO's office was bright and clean, with glass walls and a wide digital screen showing company shares. Derek Hollins, a tall man with silver hair and a confident smile, looked up from his desk. He raised an eyebrow when he saw Amara. "Can I help you?" he asked, folding his hands. Amara stepped in and removed her coat, her badge now fully visible, her name clear. Amara Venn, partner, founder's stake. Derek's smile faded. He stood slowly. "Wait, Amara Venn? As in the Amara Venn?" His voice was shaky now. Amara nodded. "We need to talk about the future of Neuraltech." Inside the CEO's office, the mood was tense. Derek Hollins, one of the most powerful men in the tech world, stood silently across from Amara. His hands were clenched. His smile was gone. "Amara Venn," he said again, as if trying to believe it. "I thought you retired. We haven't heard from you in, what? 10 years. Amara stepped forward, calm as ever. "I didn't disappear. I watched. I waited." Derek frowned. "Why now?" Amara looked around the office. "Because Neuraltech has forgotten who helped build it." She pointed to the wall, where a photo showed the company's first launch team. Her younger self was standing in the back row, almost cropped out. "You erased me from the front lines," she said. "But you didn't erase my ownership." Derek sat down slowly. "Look, this is unexpected. We've grown. Things change." "The board?" "I don't care about the board," Amara interrupted. "I came to fix what you've broken." Derek swallowed hard. "And what exactly do you think we've broken?" Amara placed her file on the table and opened it. Inside were printed reports, real paper, not just digital copies. Charts showed employee turnover, rising ethical complaints, and misuse of public funds for secret AI weapons research. These numbers don't lie, she said. And I don't like what I see. Derek shifted uncomfortably. This is sensitive data. How did you get this? I built the system that holds it, she said simply. You updated the tech, but I designed its bones. Outside the glass wall, assistants whispered nervously. Someone tapped on a tablet, trying to trace what was happening inside, but the office had gone into privacy mode. Inside, Amara placed one more item on the desk, a small cube device. It blinked once, then projected a 3D image, a secret board meeting. Derek's voice played. We remove her from the archives. She doesn't matter. The old shareholders won't fight back. His face turned red. That's out of context. No, Amara said. It's exactly the context I needed. Meanwhile, downstairs, Tana, the receptionist, stood frozen as HR rushed toward her. You turned away Amara Ven, the HR manager whispered angrily. Do you even read employee history? I didn't know. Tina panicked. She looked like a... Don't finish that sentence, the manager snapped. Tina tried to look at her screen again, but it was now locked with an error message. Access denied. Internal investigation pending. Security had already started checking her message logs. Back upstairs. Derek tried to stay calm. Look, I'm sure we can come to an agreement. Let's talk to the board. Let's go through proper channels. I already did, Amara replied. 5 of them already called me. They're waiting on level 10. Derek blinked. Level 10? That's the vault floor. No one uses that. Amara smiled. That's where I held the first neural tech meeting. Before your name was even printed on a badge, the elevator doors opened to level 10, the most secure floor in the entire building. Few people had ever been there. Even fewer knew it still existed. Amara stepped out into a silent hallway, lit by soft golden lights. Thick walls lined with glass panels showed old awards, blueprints, and company archives. 5 board members were already waiting. They stood respectfully, not a word spoken. One of them, a tall woman in a silver suit, stepped forward. Her name was Dr. Lynn Kale, Neural Tech's co-founder and original lead engineer. Welcome back, Amara, she said softly. Amara nodded. It's time we fix this. The others agreed. They had all seen the signs: toxic leadership, profit-first decisions, and strange black budget projects hidden from the public. They entered a round meeting room. The table in the center lit up, responding to Amara's wrist implant. A soft voice echoed. Founder access verified. Neural Tech protocol alpha reboot initiated. Dr. Lin smiled. We saved your clearance. Amara placed the small cube device on the center table. It glowed and projected files into the air, proof of misuse, employee complaints, and hidden contracts with military factions using Neural Tech's AI for unapproved experiments. Everyone was silent as the evidence scrolled past them. Meanwhile, back on the top floor, Derek Hollins was pacing. His calls to the board were going unanswered. His messages were bouncing. Even his assistant, Leo, looked nervous. Sir, Leo whispered, it says your permissions have been downgraded to temporary staff. Derek's eyes widened. That's not possible. I'm the CEO. Not anymore. Suddenly, the glass on his office door turned opaque. His personal files vanished from his desk screen. Then came a soft tone and a message. Internal review in progress. Please vacate office space. Security approached. Sir, we've been asked to escort you. Back on level 10. Amara addressed the board. We started this company with a dream, she said. To build technology that helps, not controls. To make people stronger, not replace them. Dr. Lin nodded. We lost that somewhere. We can bring it back, Amara said. But it starts now, with leadership that listens. One of the younger board members raised a hand. What do we tell the public? What do we tell the employees? Amara smiled softly. The truth, she said, and the truth will speak louder than anything else. In the lobby, receptionist Tina was packing her things in silence. A manager stood near her desk, deleting her access files. One intern whispered to another. She turned away the founder of the whole company. She called her a saleswoman, the other replied. They watched as Amara's name appeared on the building's welcome screen. Welcome back, Amara Ven, co-founder and executive director. Tina froze. I didn't know, she whispered. She didn't look like her. Enough, the manager snapped. You judged someone by her coat. That's not how we work anymore. Inside the hidden command room on level 10, the gold-lit screens stretched across the curved walls. One screen showed the company's data servers. Another showed live reports from every department across the globe. Amara stood in the center. Her presence was calm, but powerful. With her new CEO clearance, she accessed everything. No passwords, no blocks, no resistance. She turned to the board members seated around the round table. First, she said, we shut down every illegal project. No more silent deals. No more secret labs. She raised her wrist implant. It glowed blue. On the wall, red files popped up, each marked classified. UNAPROVE. Amara pointed. Purge them all. Dr. Lin nodded and tapped her console. One by one, the red files disappeared. Whole departments went dark. Inside the lab below, scientists watched their access vanish. What's going on? One asked, confused. Who shut our system down? At the same time, in an off-site warehouse, Shetty agents backed away from crates labeled prototype AI weaponry. A voice came through their earpieces. Abort. Stand down. Orders reversed. Upstairs. Derek Collins sat alone in his empty office. His walls were blank. His desk was offline. He had been locked out of every system. When he tried to open the exit door, even that gave an error message. Access denied. He slammed his hand against the glass. You can't do this. But no one answered. Outside his office window, drones hovered silently, scanning the building for any sign of internal resistance. In the lobby, the staff gathered, whispering. Screens all around the building changed. The company logo faded. A new logo appeared, sleek, elegant, golden lines forming a tree. Below it, neural tech reclaimed. Then a message appeared. A new future starts now. Led by Amara Ven, co-founder and returning CEO. Tina, the former receptionist, gasped. She really was the boss? One of the security guards nodded. She helped start the company, before it was stolen. Back on level 10, Amara watched the purge finish. Files were gone. Black budgets closed. Lies exposed. But she wasn't done yet. She opened one last folder. Derek Collins, actions under investigation. She tapped the file. A new screen appeared. Recordings of Derek shouting at employees, covering up lab accidents, and making deals behind the board's back. Dr. Lin sighed. He almost destroyed everything we built. He still might, said Amara, unless we show the world we've changed. She pressed submit. The recordings were sent to government regulators, the ethics board, and the company's legal team. The giant screen lit up. Derek Holland's face appeared. He looked tired, angry, and a little scared. Behind him was an empty room. No assistance, no power, no respect. Amara, he said slowly, this is a mistake. Amara stood tall in front of the screen. Her eyes were calm. No, Derek, she replied. The mistake was letting you stay in power for so long. Derek's voice rose. You think you can run this company better? You walked away years ago. Amara stepped closer. Her voice was steady. I didn't walk away. I was pushed out. Lied to. Replaced. Derek scoffed. And now you come back. What? As some janitor, sneaking through the halls. She nodded. That was the only way to see the truth for myself. Flashback montage, voiceover. Amara mopping near the elevator, listening to cruel jokes. Her wrist implant flashing silently as she scanned hidden codes on the wall. Watching Derek's assistant shred illegal documents. Catching board members whispering about hiding numbers. Back to present. You made this company rotten. Amara said. But I made it strong once, and I will again. Derek leaned in. I still have friends, investors, shareholders. They already know. Amara cut in. She waved her hand. Behind her, a screen showed global news. Tech giant restructures under new CEO after scandal. Original founder Amara Ven returns to power. At the same time, in the lobby, workers stopped to watch Amara's face on the building monitors. Even Tina, the former receptionist, looked stunned. She was the real boss the whole time. Security removed Derek's photo from the executive wall. In its place, they mounted a new image. Amara, in a sleek black suit, smiling beside the original blueprint of the company. Back in the boardroom, Derek's voice cracked. This place was mine. Amara gave one last look at the screen. No, she said softly. It was never yours. You just held it hostage. She pressed a button on her console. Derek's face vanished. Call ended. System locked. Permanent removal confirmed. Final scene. Amara walked out of the executive boardroom. The halls were quiet, clean. Staff stood and watched as she passed, respectful and silent. Some looked embarrassed. Others looked hopeful. Amara nodded politely, then stepped into the elevator. As the doors closed, the camera zoomed in on her name badge. Amara Ven, co-founder and CEO. Access level. All. Evade out TXT on Eskiorin. Never judge someone by how they enter. Watch how they lead.